So there I was, sat in pub, rubber-dub-dub with me great big tub. Saw this bird, I went and had a word, wanted to pull her like now top said. I says, alright love, how's Vadu? I'm up for a bit. I says, how about you? And she turned round and walked away, and I mooned her and we all went...
What is happening, What's that tune that you've got at start?
Why? Do you like it?
Yeah, because I watched it yesterday on the Free Mardy Blades thing, and I just like the song. It's actually quite good.
It's Fever Dream by Matilda Shakes.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, well, they're class. They're a local band, and I'm off to see them actually Friday night at Sydney Matilda.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Blades fans. One of them ones.
Yeah, we're all Blades fans. All Rambles are going down.
We've actually waited.
Everybody's welcome, mate. Everybody's welcome. It's a right banger, to be fair. They've got some great songs. Really good fun. So, welcome everybody to Yorkshire's Finest. My name is Jimmy from Blades Ramble. And who's this? Who are you?
I'm Callum Fowler from the Callum Fowler channel.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Every single time.
What are we supposed to do? We're not supposed to introduce ourselves.
No, I'm just Callum. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a brand. I'm just him.
You are him.
Yeah.
I love that, mate. Yes, good evening, one and all. So it's going to be a bit different tonight, a little bit weird, and like usual, we haven't talked about it, have we, Cal? So we just sort of rocked up and, all right, mate, what do you want to talk about tonight then? So
it's not because we're unprofessional, by the way. We just want to keep it for this.
Yeah.
It's the conversation for this.
Yeah, we literally don't log on to like a couple of minutes before, so we can't even. I mean, we text quite a bit, but we don't talk to each other about what we're going to talk about on here. So yeah. It's a little bit different because some international break's just about to hit. So some teams have played and they're going to be playing. Other teams have played and they're not going to be playing. But like, look at Harrogate for one. Harrogate, who we always love starting off with. They're tonight at 8. So they haven't even played. So Harrogate, I know we love spending a lot of time on Harrogate normally, but I think we might have to skip over this portion pretty quickly, mate.
No.
I'll tell you what. Tell me how you think they're going to do in next couple of games first, and then before we move on.
They'll probably lose tonight at home to Crewe, I think. Like Crewe were playoffs last year, weren't they?
Crewe are 12th and Harrogate are 16th, so it's not a layup.
What's Fleetwood? Where's Fleetwood now?
Fleetwood are 14th.
Oh, they're 2 winnable games then.
Yeah.
So
they'll definitely get beat tonight.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Oh, yeah, it's one of them. I don't care. No one cares. I'm sorry. Come on, man. I just stopped making graphics a lot. Like,
I'm waiting for the day that an Harrogate fan calls in. There is a link in the comments if anybody wants to call in and talk about your team. And if you're an Harrogate fan or a disgruntled Leeds fan who is now going to be an Harrogate fan, then you call in and you let us know. So right, so we'll move on from that. But this is what I'm talking about, where things are a little bit mixed this time. Rotherham are up next, and they've played and got a game, so we can talk about them because they've got a game. But 2-2 with legally, we called it really, I think, didn't we? This is the one where we all thought Bradford are going to walk over them, and football is that daft, and that's why we love it.
Did you watch it?
I've seen highlights. I didn't watch the game, obviously.
Thursday night. Oh, I did. Thursday night. Why not? What else you got to do on a Thursday night other than watch Rotherham Bradford?
I were out and about, mate. Don't you worry.
Oh, man, real life. Bloody hell. Must be nice. I forced our lads to watch this. Watch a local side.
You do a watch along?
No, not for this.
All right. Okay.
I didn't even do on Friday. I've been ill on her all weekend.
Oh, yeah. You've been badly, haven't you? Are you feeling
I've
been by the way?
Yeah, I feel all right now. Proper man flu, not like baby flu. You know what I mean? Like real.
Yeah. Not
real
like
flu.
Connor.
No, not with an headache. No, I weren't laid out for 3 days with an headache like Connor. No. Yeah, I watched this game, and we say it every week, and I've been an advocate of this for ages. Rotherham are awful.
Yeah, they are bad.
Are terrible. It does not change. And highlights waiting to show you a true picture and all. Because I've watched highlights. I watched you watch the DFL show that it does on Saturday night. I watched that, and then I watched the highlights that it puts on YouTube just to see if it was showing everything, and it still didn't. Bradford could have had 6 easily. Really? They just were. I'll tell you what. Can I just say my Didsy award now? Just to get it out of the way. It's Dawson, Rotherham's keeper, because he kept him in it massively. Really? Yeah, they're crap, man. They're going down.
They are bad, but they've pulled a result out of the backside with this one, haven't they? Because they have not been able to do anything, and they've been on a one-way ticket downwards. And to Bradford are absolutely flying. they've tripped up here, Bradford, really, not getting the points that everybody expected. But, I mean, it's still a decent result for a promoted side, but it's knocked them off top at league, hasn't it? I think...
Stevenage have gone top.
Stevenage took advantage, but still a great start from Bradford. And
Rotherham should have took advantage of these and all, because Bradford weren't cracking at all. Still could have scored that many. I think there were defensive problems for Bradford there, definitely. But some of them defenders for Rotherham, one's from your boys, and then another one, they got him from Scotland somewhere. I'm telling you now, he wouldn't even sit here with us. He could not. He is not a footballer. No way. They're getting him from Rotherham.
They've got a couple from us. There's Lapata and there's Connor Barrett that they've got from us. Oh no, you've got Connor Barrett, haven't you? You've got Connor Barrett.
Yeah, Connor Barrett's our player. You released him.
Yeah. So they all go to like local, smaller.
We sent him out on loan to Kidderminster, mate. Like he's not playing for us. Like Rotherham are starting there, fella. Like, is it Baptiste or something?
Jamal Baptiste? Yeah, he's on loan with Rotherham. Yeah.
No.
No way. Man City,
I'm not asked where he's come from.
And
they
West
Ham. Moon, who don't make him a good footballer. Chuffing hell. But yeah, Rotherham
I don't need to hear
bother.
No, I don't need it to hear who poor. So they go to Northampton, who are 13,
Lost.
very middle inside. And you'd fancy Northampton to beat them, wouldn't you, really?
They've been really good, Northampton. I think they've won 5 in the last 6. They're really good defensively. And the thing is, though, the only thing I'd say about Rotherham, normally I'd said defensively they looked okay, or they're getting away with it a little bit in recent weeks, and they were crap going forward because no Nombe and they just don't create a lot.
Yeah,
they created a little bit against Bradford, and it's just completely switched the other way. They just not got it.
Are you convinced when Nombe comes back, they might actually pick up a little bit?
I don't think it'd be that easy. I don't think they'll just immediately.
No, I know. I'm not saying you believe that he's night and day for them, like, but they're going to be in a real pickle, aren't they, Rotherham this season? And is he going to be enough to give them a fighting chance? Because at the moment they look haggard, don't they?
It's the best player, isn't it? If anybody's best player comes back from injury, you'd sort of just look and think maybe we can do something, especially when it's your striker. But I don't know.
Where is your Gus Amer for?
Well, yeah,
not doing it. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in your video, your thing that's just come out on the Callum Fowler channel. Okay. Donny next, mate. Another poor result, really.
4 losses and a draw in the last 5, Donny.
This was the one to turn it around, weren't it? This was the one where you'd like them to get back on horse if they're not going to start dropping down the table and starting to flirt with a bit of bother. Burton, perennial strugglers at this level, usually manage to scrape themselves out of it, obviously, as we know, but a poor team, and they're coming away to you. You'd expect Donny, who have got eyes on being a mid-table side and consolidating this season, to beat them, really. And I'm a bit disappointed that they haven't been able to.
Same, but Burton also went to Cardiff and won 1-0. Do you know what I mean? And I know that they got absolutely arseholed start to finish, and Cardiff should have won. But Donny, I agree with what you're saying. I just think they've got to understand where they are, Donny. Like where they're going to lie in pecking order here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's fair. That's fair. I just think they'll be disappointed because it's like it's easier to sort of translate it to Premier League sides, for example, for a wider sort of base of it. Leeds will be looking at teams like Wolves coming to them and thinking we should be beating Wolves, and that is, it's not that you've any. It's not a given that you'll beat Wolves, but they're looking at those sort of teams who have been in the league before, but particularly this season are struggling, and you want to beat them because you think that those are the teams you want to target. And this will have been a team that Donny looked at thinking, when we're at home to Burton Albion, these are the games that we need to get 3 points in. Yeah. Because at the moment, rightly so, their first aim will be to get to 50 points as soon as they can. And Burton will have been part of that plan, and they've only got 1 instead of 3. So I think they will be slightly You're right, though. The overall feel of it will be, remember who we are, Donny, to be fair. So, you know, it's one of that. So they've got a Leyton Orient next. Again, someday, I mean, Donny, as much as they've been on a terrible run, the 10th, Leyton Orient are down in 18th. So is it something
they have gone flying down the table, haven't they, Orient?
Yeah, is that something that Donny have got? Would a draw be a decent result for Donny here?
Yeah, I still think so in grand scheme of things, because you'd look at just again if you compare it to Championship, for example, regardless of where Southampton are in table now, if you could go away to Southampton and get a point, you'd be happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Is
that what Orient equivalent of?
No, but I think Leyton Orient, you'd look at Leyton Orient and think they're a top 10 side before it started. They spent some brass. They just kept the manager. They have lost a lot of the better players like your Galbraiths and Kelman, who they had on loan up top. They have lost a few of them lads. But they spent some money. And they're good going forward. Like, they scored 3 away at Cardiff, which not many sides will do against somebody like them. But I do think they would take a draw here. Because it will be an hard place to go. Leyton Orient will fight. Again, similarly, we're 11 games in. I think naturally these two will end up being in the same sort of clan.
Okay, cool. So next up, it was the former league leaders, Bradford City. We know we've just talked about briefly that drew 2-2 at Rotherham, which they'll be disappointed with. But again, a little bit like your previous point with Donny, they do need to recognise where they are, and it's not smacking them back down to reality, but it is. They have been outperforming their expectations this season, and they'll want to continue that overachieving, obviously. But it can't be seen as a huge disappointment, although we're probably expected that they go to Rotherham and win. But they've still got a point. They've come away with some, as you've said, they dominated the game. So it's something to take from that. They then come up against a in-form Lincoln City. 14th league now. I didn't realise they'd climbed that high. They've sort of done it on quiet, haven't they?
They've only lost once. They've only lost a weekend to Exeter. That was the first loss.
And that's how they've sort of like come up without anybody noticing, really. And Lincoln's a tough task, isn't it? This is going to be one of them that'll really tell you where you're going to be.
But they've got some tough games. They've got this, and then it's us after international break. All right, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Toughest test so far, then, Lincoln.
No, they're Cardiff away, which they went and won. They've bet Huddersfield at home. They went Stockport away.
Yeah. It was more toughest test to come in recent
knowledge
times.
On you know what I mean? The only thing that I would say with Bradford, like we're saying about them overachieving, which they are, and the team is really good, but the difference against Rotherham and why they don't win, top end of pitch, if you're going through one-on-one the amount of times that Bradford did, because they must have gone through 3 times and swan it a couple straight at keeper. What's his name? Patterson, I think. He hit one straight at keeper and all. Ended up scoring, but that still weren't a right cracking shot. They're missing the top quality that some other teams have got. Why are you smiling? They're missing the top quality that some of the other teams have. I know how your brain works. You're laughing already, thinking, I'm going to say Davis Keeler done here for Barnsley.
You are. They ain't got a Davis Keeler done.
With 6 against Rotherham. If he'd have had them chances, he scores them all. That's what Bradford are missing at the minute.
Oh, dear me. Yeah. They're missing a Davis Keeler done. Yeah,
I think that's so. Sheffield United, to be honest.
We'll come to that.
£5 million bargain.
What do we reckon? Bradford v Lincoln.
Lincoln are quite similar to them anyway. Like very experienced side. They just do simple stuff quite well. Not loads of standouts again.
One apiece.
Yeah, it's one of them ones, isn't it? I'd hope for a draw.
Okay, mate. Moving on to Huddersfield, and this is one of them that the bigger clubs, which you'll come on to, don't have a game because internationals in the side, do they? So
I actually didn't know that theirs called off.
I think so. Yeah, it's Luton. I think it was Luton. I did this. I prepped this a couple of days ago.
It actually says that it's on.
Oh, does it?
The only game that's called off is Barnsley Cardiff in League One.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I got a PP on mine. I don't know whether that was Sky. So
unless mine's wrong.
No, it's fine, mate. Well, we can discuss that. So look at this though first. You think they're getting back on horse, and then they go Stockport.
That's wrong. No, they lost 2-1. This is amateur.
This is no. They turned a corner, aren't they? Where we thought Lee Grant might be coming back, and then this happens, doesn't it? 2-0 to Stockport. Stockport are a decent side. I love Ollie Norwood.
Yeah, but you're saying they've lost 2-0 and they've lost 2-1.
Oh, is it? You want it 2-1 it then?
2-1. That's what you said.
Did they score late on?
Huddersfield scored it 93rd, I think.
Well, there you go. Then that's why.
Oh, bloody hell! Barnsley have won on this graphic. Then
I were doing it while results weren't quite finished. So yeah, that's fair enough. All right, so 2-1. They've lost 2-1.
But Stockport, they had a red card and all, didn't they? But Huddersfield, they're just not breaking sides down.
It's disappointing from Huddersfield. We've talked about it before that, like, from outside looking in, optics are that they should be walking. I had them as the favourites for league, and I still think that's a genuine thing that you can chuck at them because of the quality that they've got in the squad. But they did lose some big hitters in the summer, which can't be underestimated. Sorba Thomas being a big one, Matty Pearson and a few, Hoggs gone, and some of the big names from their squad have left as well as them bringing in some good names as well. So I think they are still very much promotion favourites, or they should be at this level. Is it Grant that we've got to look at here in terms of not getting enough out of the squad?
Definitely. Like you're saying there, though, their bottom level here is here. It's just so high. Like I don't think they've been out at top 6 once, and I feel like with City, it's almost the same thing, that they're just not playing well a lot of time, and they're still in top 6. The only thing that worries me with Huddersfield, thinking long term, the bet Stevenage, which is Stevenage's only loss, but they've lost at home to Stockport, and Stockport had 10 men. They got tonked away at Bradford. They got tonked away at Barnsley. The better teams where they have to sort of adjust, they're not doing. They don't know how to play if they're not just going to dominate all at ball all the time. And I think they're struggling with that against better sides with better players. It's
something they need to figure out and quick into it, because otherwise they're going to... You can see them quite quickly falling into like a playoff tussle. And I mean, where are they now? They're 6th at the moment. Stockport have crept up on them. They're at the same points now. Stockport in 7th. There's two... The teams in this league are too... I won't say too good, but they're like too professional to not take advantage of this in terms of like nudging Huddersfield out of firstly the automatics, but then they'll just get bypassed, won't they, by a Bolton, by a Barnsley, by somebody who pick it well. I know you still think they're top 2, but I've got it down here as Luton and Huddersfield are postponed due to international call-ups. As is
my app just hadn't been done then.
As is Peterborough and Stevenage. As is Bradford and Lincoln apparently now.
Oh, there's a few. There's a few of. When I looked earlier, it genuinely just says Barnsley off.
Sky Sports app. So whether that's actually happening or not, because Bradford and Lincoln are littered with international footballers out there. So we'll see. We'll see whether that comes to pass. But so we won't cover Luton and Huddersfield because we don't know whether they're playing or not. To be fair,
I just think with Huddersfield, just before we move on to it, they are still missing a lump. Like not everything has to be total football, I don't think, and that's giving me the impression that's what Grant is. If Stockport got 10 men and you're desperate for a goal, I don't think they've got anybody that can just play balls off at top of pitch. I feel like they've still got to work it in intricately. And then if you're coming up against a low block like Stockport are going to do with 10 men, if they defend properly, you've got no chance. And I feel like that's a lot at league anyway.
Well, we're not just going to take your word for it, pal. We've got Ed, who's come in to give his opinion on Huddersfield. How's it going, pal? You okay?
Yeah, all right. Evening, fellas.
Good evening, mate. What have you got to say about your performance where you lost 2-0 apparently, rather than 2-1?
I have to agree with Callum. We are not clinical enough for the final product, but for people calling for Grant so early, I just don't think it's right.
Is that what's happening in fan base?
Yeah, a lot of people want his head, but I think it's just way too soon. And he's a new manager, and you've got to give him at least till end of season personally. But I know he just doesn't change his tactics quick enough personally. Like, he didn't bring Taylor on till 85th minute when he should be coming on at 60, and like the formation's not working. He just doesn't seem to have a plan B at the moment.
I think that's common with new managers. The subs are they're too long. Urian's like that and all. I think I genuinely think they get too caught up in game and forget that they're managing sometimes. To take that long to bring players like that on, there's no excuse, is there, really, for something like that?
No, everyone was baying out for it in the crowd as well. You could see some change. And like their penalty, their first goal, I did miss because I was going in for a pint, but apparently it wasn't even a penalty. So the ref didn't help. But it doesn't matter. We should be, it's at home. We should be absolutely being a force of nature. We want to go.
I agree. I agree with what. Why do you call for patience then with Grant if you can see? If you can see it,
I can see him some building something. I can see the players maybe like. I think will get what he's trying to do. It's just they're not getting that end product. And like Alfie May was having a go at Joe Lowe, like proper having a go at him. Maybe he should have been holding that until changing room because they do care. It seems like they do want to do it. It's just not finalising, and they're just not having that final end product. I just don't know. Can't see why.
Okay. Yeah. It's tricky, isn't it? Because you are underachieving in so many metrics, but then you're 16th league and you're still well in touch. So you don't want to step any further. And I can understand why some fans will get itchy feet already but you are only 11 games into the season, and that's coming from a fan of a team who sacked the manager after 6 games. So now we're all for that, by the way. So
I just don't want to turn into a Watford where we just keep sacking managers over and over and over again.
It's not as easy to get out of this league as it once were, regardless of your club size and just spending a bit of brass. It's just not as easy as it were.
And also, who would you upgrade him with? And I know Lee Grant's been a fairly unknown quantity because of where he's come from, but if you're wanting a proven manager at the level, then you've got to wait for one to become available, really, to sort of, there's got to be better available to sack him out there. You've got to be able to justify it with a better name coming in.
I was having a look in the market and I can't see anyone like, get him in, that's the one. It's just like, that's why another reason it's just no point because you're just going to have the same issue another 12 weeks down the line. It's just not.
Well, you went fit proven in this league anyway with somebody like Duff. And it just, you went down in tears, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I can say as well, I'm glad this international break's just come now. Because maybe 10 days off with this Luton game that has just been postponed. So maybe it's a bit more time to this is what we're doing. This is what's not going well. Let's sort it out now.
Has it been postponed, Ed? Can you confirm that for us?
100% it has been postponed.
Someone might have to grab
goal at the end as well. So it was 2-1.
I know. All right, so I messed up with score. Cal messed up with game coming up.
No, my app messed up.
That's sorry, you never do. All right, well, Ed, I want to say thank you so much for jumping on, mate, and giving your opinion, and we'll speak to you soon.
Nice one, thank you.
Cheers, pal. Nice one, Ed. Always good to get fans of the clubs we're talking about on because they clearly know a lot more about them than we do, and it doesn't surprise me that there's some calling for him already. Fair play to Ed, who's got more patience than some will have, but I do go back to that point where it's all right calling for manager's Ed if there's somebody better available. You know, if a hot property becomes like on the market and you think he's going to do a better job here, then you can understand.
Patience, though, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? If you look at the sides that are near the top of this division, Stevenage, Bradford, Lincoln, Wimbledon have all had managers for longer than 11 games. Do you know what I mean? He's only just come in. So you have got to call for patience with stuff like that. Like Stockport there and all. Like a lot of the sides that overachieving almost are ones that have had a manager in for a bit of time.
Well, you rate Bloomfield, don't you?
I do, and he's just been sacked.
That's what I mean. So would you, if you were Huddersfield, would you be tempted to look at Bloomfield?
No, because it's still like he's saying, it's the unknown of Grant still, and he's only had X amount of games to, pick his best team, which I still think he's struggling with because they've brought a lot of good players in. So for you, it's not necessarily if there's somebody available, because you would maybe, if there were a vacancy, you'd maybe consider Bloomfield, but you'd say stick with Grant for a little bit longer because he's not had long enough. Yeah, just for the financial side and all, it'd be stupid, wouldn't it? The 6th division to just sack somebody now for someone who's just failed at another promotion rival. That's an even bigger gamble than just sticking with Grant. Yeah, agreed. I mean, he was just the example that jumped out because he's just gone anti. But right, we've done Huddersfield. Then let's move on to the biggest club in League One. Wycombe Wanderers. So what's happening here, Cal? What's happening? More points dropped to something like that? Pointis? Okay. It's just
that's what thumbnail looked like.
I know, Jeff, because I'm just like, I can't believe it. It's just textbook Barnsley. Like, what we're 2-0 up, coasting and all. They didn't do anything. I've seen stats after the game and I couldn't believe it. It must have all been in the last 5 minutes that they were proper great on us because they had no sustained pressure at all the way through the game. But then, as what happens with a tiny squad anyway, and one that you've only got 13 AF decent players in, full stop. As soon as we make a sub and we're bringing in Ferrugia and Russell, they're just traffic cones. You're just plopping a cone on pitch and telling it to defend. I reckon I've seen Ferrugia touch ball 20 times ever in his entire career here. And he's deemed one of the best footballers in Ireland. Mental. It's just the squad's so small. And then Urian come out after the game, actually, which I want to speak about. I touched on this on Barnsley that I did. But Urian come out after the game, and in the last 10 seconds, it was like, I don't know how we've lost, but is it something that I just don't sort of want to admit or want to say publicly? And I think he's getting to the point where he's realising just some of these lads are crap, and you cannot turn them into good footballers if they're just not there.
What's he said after the game then?
He said that, like, I don't know how we've lost. His exact words, I can't remember the exact way that he phrased it, but he was saying something like that. I don't want to say what I think the reason is. He said something along them lines.
Only reason I ask is, and we'll obviously come to Sheffield United coming up as well, but Wilder's come out after the game and he's been asked in post-match presser, are plans underway for January already? And he's like, yeah, I already know who's with me and who's not with me. So, and I think
I think Wilder knows what he is a bit more and is more confident.
Yeah,
something like that in an interview.
But what I mean is, there's a conversation to be had about how smart those statements are, and they can be very smart. I'm not questioning what he's come out and said, but that you run a risk of losing a couple of your players that know they're not in your plans, losing them completely. And is Hourihane not really got the conviction at this stage to come out and say that, even if he knows it, like you say, if he knows a couple of lads are letting him down and he'll be looking to move them on in January, maybe he's not quite at the stage where he's ready to come out and say.
But I feel like we're in a position though where one injury away from these players who he knows aren't good enough starting.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. He knows. I can tell just by looking at him and the way that he's like acting on sideline and just the lineups that he's putting out for recent games. He knows that Early's not good enough and he's a starting centre back. He knows that. I think he knows that Russell and Ferrugia aren't good enough and they're two of his first subs. We've got a really small squad. We've sacked a sporting director for being crap at his job for the last 2 windows that we've had being so awful. And I think it is just a case of poor recruitment for so long, catching up with us finally. And it's either that he's saying this and that he knows these footballers aren't good enough, or he's taking a bit of a dig at board saying, we haven't spent 1 penny on a transfer in 2 windows. We're Barnsley in League One. Like, I'm not trying to say that we're the biggest club ever, but we should be spending some money in 2 windows combined in this league. Come on. Exactly. Come on, man. We're big, mighty Barnsley in League Pop and Crisp League. We should be one of the top spenders.
Have you still got you down for autos? Are you still going up?
I think it'll be us and Bolton now. I've shifted again.
You don't.
I've changed my mind again.
How did you set up at weekend? What were your formation this time?
We changed, and Duff said this after Wycombe Gaffer, because he was expecting us to set up a certain way, and we're like a 3 at back anyway, but we changed because McGoldrick didn't start for first time. We started Cleary instead, who scored.
Well, you've been calling for.
Yeah, he scored, and he made second goal as well. But then because of that, Cleary's a natural winger. McGoldrick likes to come inside a little bit, so he had to change his left back situation, and then you've got to change everything, haven't you, really? So we ended up like a box midfield. And it worked. We were better side by a mile, and we weren't playing that cracking, but we'd control game easily. But then it is just a case of, similar to what he was saying about Huddersfield then, where Grant, you can't just call for a manager's head if it's not the manager's fault. He can't sub him, even though he probably could and he'd do a job. He can't sub him sent on and track a man or just move. Like some of the players that we're bringing on are not good enough, and that is what it comes down to.
I'm not advocating for sacking Lee Grant, and I know you're certainly not, because you push back on it. But I expected more out of Grant than I did out of Hourihane. I think Grant's got a more talented squad at his disposal, and that's not meant to be an overt dig at Barnsley.
Yep.
Barnsley have sort of outperformed where I expected them to be in their initial start, and I think they've sort of, disappointingly for you, they've probably slightly underperformed in the last few weeks. But I don't think like 9th in league at this stage, and you're only 2 points off playoffs, not far off top 2. I think you're in touching distance, and that's where you'd be expected to be. Like you say, you didn't spend a penny in summer, and he's a new manager himself, Hourihane, and I think he will get it all right. I'm not saying he's going to be the next big thing in management or whatever, but I feel comfortable with him leading you. I don't know how you feel as he's your gaffer like. So
it's more, it's from my perspective and just fans in general. It's the frustration of it being the exact same as last year in terms of last season, us and Wrexham were the exact same up until like 70th minute. We were second best performing team, I think, until subs come on in his worst ever year, effectively. And then as soon as you bring subs on, you just plummet. And it is just, it's looking like the same exact thing again. But I don't think Hourihane will stand for something like that. Or I hope not. And I think sacking sporting director sort of speaks to, we're going to give you reins a little bit in Jan. And if we do get the players in that we need, I think, like you're saying, there's clearly something there.
So do you think it's a personnel? Obviously, you've got a thin squad, and that's what you're referring to. But is it also a fitness issue? Is it something that, overall?
So. No, because it's not. The players that stay on can last. The only starter that I really just don't like is Earl, who's one of his centre-backs. But there's only, looking at that bench at weekend, we had McGoldrick, who's injured, sat on bench. That's our smallest squad is. And then we've got a young lad midfielder called Kelly who come on. They're the only two players that I trust to come on off bench. That's so it is a personnel issue if a lot of your subs aren't up to standard that are required, really.
Okay, fair enough, mate. Right, so I didn't realise how poorly Wycombe had done this season. I know Duff's just come in, so he's likely going to have a go at turning it around.
It cracks that result for them, you know, and a lot of Wycombe fans were saying it.
Really?
Yeah,
down in 20th. They're in trouble, aren't they? So, right, moving into Championship then. Hull City. So they drew 2-2 with Preston at home. The patchier Hull, it has to be said.
Yeah, they are.
And having watched them with my very own eyes for a full 90, I don't think they're anything special. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think it's more a case of, I mean, look, this is another example of there's no fixture for Hull, so we're just covering the last two because they've had two games since we last spoke about them. But obviously, they beat Sheffield United at the weekend. And I don't know where we're going wrong at this stage. I mean, it's depressing to even think about, but we are so bad in so many areas. It's just, it's demoralising. And Hull were nothing special. And I don't want to take anything away from them, but they did the basics right. And if a team does the basics against us at the minute, we are one of the easiest teams to play against. Look, we were unfortunate in certain areas. Gus Emery at the post, where there were a goal mouth scramble at one stage from a corner that we should have made more of. The ultimate thing when we missed the penalty, we got a penalty in 87th minute. Harrison Burrows steps up, who came off the bench. And
we'll speak about that, mate. Don't you worry. We'll get to that on Sheffield United bit.
Go on then. You talk to me about Preston first then.
Oh, the Preston. Oh, I'm not bothered about Preston.
All right, go on then. You talk about Hull then. Talk about Hull.
The Hull one in general, like you're saying, if they've done the basics well, I think again, sort of got to look at big picture where Hull's expectations are this season. They're in a transfer embargo, weren't they? So to have done the business that they've done, I think if they can do the basics well, that is just enough, really, from this season. And I think that'd be, if they finish fourth bottom, ultimately, I think Hull have had a good year. And I think with some of the players that they've managed to bring in, they're looking all right for me.
Yeah. Doing the basics well shouldn't be enough to beat Sheffield United, and that's my gripe.
No, I agree with that.
United fan.
Yeah,
but we'll come on to United in a minute when we talk about. We'll go skip further on to talk about Sheffield United. But I do think they've made some shrewd signings in the summer of Hull. Ollie McBurney being the absolute standout. Obviously, he for me, I think he got player at match actually at weekend. But he
don't though, did
he? He did.
Apparently,
no, he did. Who said that?
I saw people on Twitter saying he didn't do it.
No, he were decent. I mean, he were everything we've been crying out for this season.
He needed to give me a goal or an assist because I had it on my bet. That's the only thing that let me down.
Well, I think you'll have been he'll have let down a few hackers with that because obviously we're banging form, coming back to one of the worst teams in form. And I think a few will have had him to at least just a goal involvement. But he's.
What did he look like defensively, Hull? Sorry.
Well, if we'd tested him properly, then I'd have been able to find out. But
did they not have a lot to do then?
No, not really. Not enough. I mean, we got behind them a couple of times. We are nowhere near quick enough in the attacking transition, and that's the problem. And as I say, we'll come on to Sheffield United, but we gave them plenty of time to have two banks of thought. I think they had one clean sheet in 25 at home before this game. So that tells you everything you need to know about the defence. They're vulnerable. Didn't look it against us. Did not look it at all against us. So that we are banging trouble, and I'll come on to us later. But Hull, fair play, did enough. Yeah. Was it a fair result? Well, it's the beaters. So you've got to say it. What a fair result. The one thing I will say is that when they got their goal, which was their only real chance, they flooded the box with bodies, and that is something we are so way off doing. That there were four boys in the box straight away as soon as they got it on flank. There were three of our defenders and then Cheo Benny rushing to try and get back as well. Yeah. So they made the absolute maximum out of their chance that they had. And fair play to them. They've got the noses in front. And as a Sheffield United fan, it was not pleasant viewing. But moving on very quickly. Sheffield Wednesday. So
yes, thank God.
I know.
Needed that one.
Little bit of light relief for me. Look, I mean, the first result midweek is a really good result. To go to Birmingham and get a point, they at this stage, I'm thinking they're hanging on here. They're like they are giving themselves. Weren't Birmingham losing until dying?
Yeah, they got a very, very late equaliser.
Yeah, so it's one of them where you look at and you think, oh my God, that surely. I mean, they're doing better than us anyway. So as a Sheffield United fan, it's an absolute nightmare scenario as it is. But for them to even flirt with pulling away from it, then it were great to see at the weekend. Put it that way, when Coventry, who are really, really good, by the way.
Oh yeah,
a Coventry winning league, by the way, Cal.
Probably. Just we are good. The last 3 results have been 5-4, 3-0, haven't they? They've not conceded in 4 games. I think Lampard's a very good manager, and Coventry a really good team. But like we're saying there, we're both sat here like a bit, oh, maybe could the sort of thing. And I'm going to reference another team in a bit with this. But the second bottom, do you know what I mean? We're looking at them thinking, oh, they're actually doing all right. All right for them is second bottom. So across the full thing, they all know it. Everybody knows it. It's going to be the same result regardless.
They should be bottom. And this is me sort of sticking up for them a little bit.
And they would be bottom if they're another serious team in division, but there's not. That's what it comes down to. It's not from them doing all right. It's because you're crap. That's why they're not bottom. Not to do with them. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right, and that's what hurts, because they have every reason to be where they are, and they should be doing. They shouldn't be going to Birmingham and having enough with 16, 17-year-olds inside to go and get a point on road to somebody who's spent tens of millions of pounds to try and get to where they are.
That's what I want to say. The only thing that looks good for these, some kids that they're just bringing in from nowhere, absolutely nowhere. They're not being sent out on loans. They don't look. I've never even heard of these fellas. You know, like we do, like with Sheffield United or Leeds. You see the kids coming from a bit, and you know that they're going to be something. That striker, never seen him before, and he looks like he can hack it. The centre back that they're putting against Birmingham, probably man at match.
Is it Weaver?
Yeah, I think so. Where are these fellas coming from? And they look quite good.
I know
so
they do.
Long term, if they eventually get rid of this clown, then there's something there for him, isn't there?
Do we think they get rid of clown, by the way?
Hopefully not.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Because did you see protest?
Investors in it.
Did you see protest?
Yeah, well, it annoyed me that
4 people on.
No, exactly. But you know what? People have been pushing that all week. Have you seen my video on it?
No, I haven't, mate. I haven't yet. No.
I did want to like the people who went on, like, respect, honestly. More respect to people that don't go to actual game itself in first place. The people that are sat there tweeting like, oh, we're all going to storm pitch.
I know.
And then they're sat in stands watching everybody else do it.
Yeah, because they
cowards, man, honestly.
They don't do it. Yeah, but it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's a banning order, pretty much, isn't it? You're going to get banned from seeing your side. I understand the weight behind it. And if we all do it, if 3,000 of us storm pitch, then they're going to have to abandon game. That was never going to happen because people's self-interest always takes over, unfortunately.
So then just stay away from conversation, though, is my point on it.
And that is the point. So don't be tweeting about doing it if you're going to have no...
If you're not going to do it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So, and that is the point that you're right about. So it was embarrassing in the end where 4 or 5 of them are going to get banned now for the next 2 or 3 years. For what? For delaying a game for 5 minutes. It's
yeah.
But they're trying everything they can out there. They're trying everything at it, and it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the club, and you know, we can't keep saying it, but I do feel for them. I do, sort of. So let's get this out of the way. Sheffield United.
Get it out of the way. I'm going to be sat talking about this for half an hour. Get it out of the way.
We're not going to be talking about it for half an hour, I tell you now, because you'll have seen both games, won't you? Or majority of both games, I would have thought.
I've only seen highlights of both.
You what? Sorry,
I've only seen highlights of both of these. I've been given a picture on what happened, but I've only seen highlights.
Okay, so Tuesday night, we're at home to Southampton, and the referee was absolutely honking, absolutely awful.
I did see that, to be fair, so it's not even like one of them ones where a fan's trying to make out.
Yeah, I know. You know all about it anyway. You're a blade, aren't you? Everybody knows you're a secret blade. But so a fair result on Tuesday, long story short, would have been a draw, I think. We've been beaten by a Ross Stewart screamer, but there were other things that I would say went against us. Referee had a huge part to play in it. I think Southampton fans who were there or have seen the game will tell you that they were lucky to come away with all 3 points. I don't mean to take anything away from Southampton. They're a good side, but I don't think they were head and shoulders better than us. And I think a point would have been a fair result. I thought it's best we played this season, but the bar is very low. It's still nowhere near levels we were last season. Look at you smirking away.
I'm listening, man.
We've talked about you drawing away at Wycombe, and now you're having a pop.
Wycombe are a super team.
And then we've touched on this one already. Hull City. It's just you think the worst thing about this is they had 4 blades in their side. They had John Lundstrom, Regan Slater, who came through our youth team, John Egan, who were our captain for a couple of years, brilliant player for us, and Ollie McBurney, obviously the headline grabber at the minute. And the stat was they had more collective appearances for Sheffield United than our starting 11.
Yeah. That surprised me.
It don't mean either because, and they had there were more of a Sheffield United performance about them than there was about us. They had resilience, they were compact, they were organised, and we could not break them down. Yes, as I said earlier, we hit the post, we had a goal mouth scramble, we had a penalty, we had our chances to get back into it, but we just have not got that cutting edge at the minute. Ty Campbell does not look fit at all. Gus Amer is a bit of a shadow of the player that he was. I saw your video earlier.
No, you haven't.
I have.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm about to say then, right? Because referencing that, when you're saying about the more appearances than 4 than everybody that you've got, you're really good with your loans and everything anyway. But 9 of your 15 highest appearance holders last season have all gone. You've sold the spine of your team from last year. So Wilder, whose whole shtick is the togetherness aspect and something like that, he's got a lot of new lads there to try and sort of build that way again. And when it's coming into a situation where all you're doing is losing all the time, with a manager that nobody really took serious towards end, and it was like when we're going to get rid of him almost, it's going to take a lot to sort of build that again, which is Wilder's strength. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, and I think it were a really good video that you did, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't mind plugging
that.
So it would have no, but yeah, so go and watch Cal Fowler's Sheffield United doomed to relegation or whatever the title was, something similar to that. But there were some really good facts in there in terms of stuff like 9 out of our 15 most appearances have now left the club from last season. But the majority of them were loan players. That happens at a lot of clubs every season. So I can't hang my hat on that and say that's the reason we're in the situation we're in. We lost Anel Ahmedhodzic, who was at the heart of the defence. Not brilliant, to be fair, but at the heart of the defence, good player for the level. Vinny Souza is the real kicker, like you mentioned as well in your video. He was the true loss in our side. But we kept hold of Gus Amer. We kept hold of Michael Cooper. Burrows had a great season last year, was in team at season. We've replaced Anel with Tanganga. Jack Robinson's gone, like you mentioned on your video. We've replaced him with Ben Mee. You'd think, and you said this again, and I agree with you, the defence now, I think, is better than last season. Harry Souttar is the outlier with that, because when he was in the side last year, we were incredible defensively. But he got injured at Christmas and he were out for season. So we had half a season without him anyway, and he's still not fully recovered from that injury. So I think you've got to take him out of the equation when you talk about that, because he's not even available to come back in. Yeah. There's rumours that we're going to go back in for him in January if Leicester will entertain it. So we'll see what happens there with that, because a back 3 of Tanganga, Souttar and me would be
that's serious.
A cheat code at the level, to be fair. Yeah. And it will be, I'm confident it will be enough to get us out of it. But in the middle, and again, and I know you've just used all stuff that we've talked about off screen, but we are, but we're without Souza in there. Sidney Peck has struggled big time, because under Sayers, he was asked to do a job of a number 6, basically, which is to recover the ball and try and win it and give it easy. That's not his full strength. It's also only his 2nd season as a pro. I think it's a lot to ask of him. Wilder talked about it in one of his pressers. He was exposed with 2 centre-backs behind him, full-backs that bombed on, and he was the only line of defence before you got to those 2 centre-backs. Sometimes one of them would Reece Norrington-Davies, who was a left-back. Sometimes it was Jack Robinson. Sometimes it were, whoever it might have been, Ben Godfrey. But it's just, he's moved Tom Davies alongside him for Southampton, who's just back from a long injury, and he looked decent. We looked a lot more settled. Can't rely on Tom Davies, never fit. So we can't hang our hats on that. But I do think that is where we're going to struggle, certainly until Ollie Arblaster comes back. And you've got to hope that Arblaster is something like what he was before he went as well, because that's always a problem with.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's been out a long time.
Over a year. So it's about the time he comes back. So we're in a pickle at minute, mate. And I don't think, in all honesty, we're far away. And the more I think about it, the more calm I can be about it in terms of, look, what would you change? I won't change an awful lot at the minute. I want the players to have the confidence back. I want the mentality of the team to be right. I want the fitness levels of the squad, like you talked about again, to be back up where they need to be. But I wouldn't change Chris Wilder. I wouldn't. The mistake was made in the summer, and they've rectified that now. So he can't change anything in terms of bodies until January. So he's got to work with what he's got, which I think is really interesting when he comes out and says stuff like, I know who's with me and I know who's not.
Yeah.
Because if you're a player and if you're Louis Barry, for example, who's made, I think, 2 sub appearances for Chris Wilder, as opposed to starting every game.
I'm going to say squads will speak that anyway. You'll know what he's on about.
So they will know. And does that make or break Louis Barry now at Sheffield United? Does that say to him, right, if I'm going to stay and make something of this, I'm going to force my way into this team and I'm going to do something? Or does
it says that you've got 2.5 months to get a grip, or you're going back?
That's exactly what it says.
And you're going to go further down pyramid with your next loan.
Tyler Bindon, decent player. I was quite excited when he came in because I thought he'd do a decent job, but it was paired with another poor defender at the level, whether that be Jack Robinson or Reece Norrington-Davis, or even Ben Godfrey, who's, like you said, has been miles off it, to be fair. If he were given an opportunity next to Tanganga, or in a 3 with Tanganga and me, for example, I think he'd be a better player.
Completely.
So I don't completely dismiss Tyler Bindon, but he's too far down pecking order. He's 5th at minute, I think. In front of Zetterstrom, who we signed for £3 million. So there's 3 that are starting, me, McGuinness and Tanganga. Then behind them, there's Ben Godfrey. Then it's Tyler Bindon. Then it's Zetterstrom, who cost £3 million. And that is in itself, 6th choice centre-half, costing £3 million. Tells you exactly where just some of the problems have started from for Sheffield United this season.
Well, I agree with everything that you've just said. I just think that the next couple games that you've got coming up, have you got Blackburn?
We've got Watford at home to come back. I'll tell you who's after that. I think it might be Blackburn.
It's 2 teams that you look at and think,
we come back to
we could be in bother if we don't win these. Do you know what I mean? That's when you could be in a bit of bother. But it's a good chance, international break coming at time that it has. To, like you said, get your fitness up and sort of create that togetherness again that's not been there so far, that Wilder's about.
Thing is, we've got Watford at home.
You've got to win that. You've got
Blackburn
to win
away. Then a tough one, Preston away. But then
I don't look at it and think you've ever got an easy run, though. Really, I don't think you've got the ride of fixtures.
As far as like fixtures go, if we are going to turn it around, it's got to be here, on it. It's got to be Watford at home, Blackburn and Preston, Blackburn and Preston away, and Derby at home. You've
almost got to win them 2 home games, haven't you? Watford and Derby.
Yeah.
And you got Wednesday after that.
No, it's Cov.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, that's a loss. That'll be 6 notes. Something like that. Bring you back down again.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. To be fair, though, there's 12 points on offer there.
Yeah.
You can see us getting 7, maybe 9.
I just hope for your sake you don't come out after all this. There's going to be a lot made of that Watford game. I just hope that you don't come out of that and just look exact same, because then I will worry for you then.
Would you then question Wilder? Because there's some blades, very few, vocal minority, that are already saying, I thought it were Sayers that were a problem. It's clearly not. It's obviously Wilder's a problem as well. And, some people would rather be right.
But then surely you just look at your players. If neither of these 2 managers can sort this out, surely it's a player's issue.
This is what we've done. We've started sort of saying players have got to turn it, because otherwise fans will turn on the players.
Yeah.
And then some of these voices are saying, well, why are you blaming players now when you didn't blame you were blaming manager before, and you're not blaming Wilder?
That's a good point, in fairness.
And it is a good point. It is. Yeah. So do you think Wilder is under fire if you don't turn it around?
I don't think you can go against somebody who's very rarely failed at your. You know what I mean? I don't think you can go with somebody like that, especially when you've just backed. He got United 2 points for a reason. You know what I mean? I know there's a high turnover of players really from summer, but you've got to give him time to do what he can do. And I don't think there's anybody. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be a player if you sack him again and you bring somebody else in and it's third manager trying to sort this out.
Yeah.
I just think they're just going to be confused. They're not buying into anything, are they? If you get somebody else in there,
do you back him to get it right then?
Yeah, I think so. I think he finished like 6th bottom, something like that. Bit right here.
Yeah.
Right, we're getting on to the proper side.
Yeah, here we go. Leeds United again.
Yes,
this week.
Come on.
This is
needed that.
This is becoming the new Sheffield Wednesday for you, isn't it? This is where you start to wind up the Leeds contingent, and they went 1-0 down, pulled it back to 1 apiece, and you think, can they hang on at Elland Road with a vociferous crowd? And Tottenham go and nick it 2-1. And good. Tottenham are a decent side this year. Tottenham are always a good side. Let's have it right. But in context of Premier League, Tottenham under Thomas Frank, I think, are going to be a serious outfit this year. So I don't think there's any disgrace in the result. If you're Leeds United, what are you thinking now, mate? With another loss after coming off the Bournemouth loss as well.
We could say, like I was saying earlier about Wednesday, we can sit here and say that they've started well, which they have in grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But they're only 4 points in front of Burnley in 18th. It's 4 points difference. I know we're only 7 games in, so
4 points is decent at this stage.
Yes, I agree. But I won't look at it and think they've had a very tough start. They've had Arsenal away that you'd look at as completely unwinnable. I don't think they've had a tough start, especially when you look at fixtures after this international break. They are not easy at all. I'm going to get them up now, just in case I'm waffling.
Okay. So Leeds United have played 7, got 8 points.
Yep.
I think looking at the next fixture.
The next 2 are really important. Same for your area. If they've got Burnley away and then West Ham at home, they have got to win at least one.
Well, they're above both of them. Obviously, there's context to it all, but Burnley are obviously going to be, as a fellow promoted side, they are always going to be the teams that they all look at each other and say, yeah, Burnley I think will go down, but they're all going to look at each other and say we need to win against. Burnley will be saying Leeds and Sunderland will be saying Leeds and Burnley, and Leeds will be saying Sunderland and Burnley. So we need to beat those other teams around us. West Ham are also in that category because of how poorly they've started, but
we no.
It's
changed.
Nuno factor is here. So they're both below Leeds currently. They're only on 4 points. Leeds are on 8. 4 points, like you say, away from relegation zone. West Ham are no longer the easy touch that they would have been 2 weeks ago. Because I think it don't mean they're going to automatically be like this. But I don't think anybody now, realistically, expects West Ham to be relegated. So over the course of the season, it's likely that they will be a lot better than the bottom 3 because they'll pull themselves out. Even if it's up to 13th, 14th, they will have to be better because they've started off behind. So that is no longer an easy fixture. I know you've pointed it out as somebody who they need to keep below them, but it's not quite as straightforward.
The ruthlessness of this division, and we're saying about West Ham, like you're saying there, it's no longer an easy fixture. But with what this league is, you look at it and still think that's got to be one that you've got to get something from. So
is it Elland Road?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
They need 4 points at least, really, from Burnley away and West Ham at home. Because after that, I genuinely look at the fixtures that they've got and think they might not win a game till next year. And it's not and that's not even an exaggeration at all. The fixtures, Brighton away, Forest away, Villa,
Forest away.
Forest away. They've sacked the manager, or the will have done by then, so they'll have a new one in it.
They'll have sacked Ange in 3 games' time.
100%.
I know they could. I know they could do because he's an absolute nutcase. But
yeah,
he may well be in charge, might he? At that stage, Big Ange.
I'll tell you what, he'd have to win next couple.
You can't say Leeds have got no chance of going to Forest and win.
I'm not saying they've got no chance. I just
I can't see him getting another point.
I can't see him getting another win. Yeah.
You didn't say win.
I cannot see him going to Forest away and winning.
I can't see him getting a point until next
I did not say a point. I said a win.
Okay, all right. Fair. Well, either way, I think they could go to Forest and win.
All right, let's just say, for argument's sake, they can go to Forest and win, right? But they've got Brighton, Forest, Villa, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford away, which I'm not hearing. They will not get anything there. Crystal Palace, Sunderland away, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle, all in a row. They could be 15 points adrift after this.
I cannot tell you what, I can't believe I'm sat here defending Leeds United, right? Because it's not what we're on me, on my bucket list to do. You can't tell me that Brentford is not a winnable game for Leeds at the level.
Away at Brentford, they will not win that game.
I'm not saying they're favourites to win it, because clearly going away to any side in the league, you're not going to be the favourites if you're a promoted side. But you cannot tell me that there's no chance that they beat Forest at Forest or Brentford at Brentford. Is the Villa game at Leeds?
Yeah.
So Villa have had a poor start to the season as well. Who's to say they won't get a point there?
Villa started picking up though now. They've won last two. Brentford at home, they lost 1-0 to Man City. This is the recent results in a row at home. Lost 1-0 to Man City because they've got chuffing Robocops up front. They bet Man United, they bet Aston Villa. They got a point off Chelsea, bet Aston Villa again. And then you're going into last season where they did lose the last game, but then the 1-1 draw. The really good side at home, Brentford are.
So would you have had Leeds beating Everton?
No, but the circumstance. Well, that were at home as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
At home. And at home, you've had Newcastle as a write-off. I understand that at St James's, but they've already got a point against Newcastle. They went away to Wolves, who are in similar circumstances to, say, a Forest at the moment, I would say,
and beat
agree. Them.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and I understand your point. I'm just saying that we're looking at it and thinking that they've had a decent start here, but we're going to be looking at it completely different when they're not playing Wolves and Everton's. They've got a lot of the big dogs in a row coming up.
I would say they've played at home. They've played Everton, Newcastle, Bournemouth, and Tottenham. So, and out of them, they've got 3, 4, 5 points. It's not bad. It's not bad, is it, against those teams?
Yeah, but you don't just play at home every week.
Yeah, but you've got to consider it against everything, I suppose. But so they're away at Burnley next, then they're at home to West Ham. It could easily be 4 points, that. And I know you're saying it has to be because then it picks up. Away at Brighton, I'll give you, is a really tough place to go. I don't fancy them to go there and get anything really. Away at Forest on 9th of November, so this time next month. I don't think they'll have sacked Ange by then, but again, don't
really do, you know.
Villa at home, they can get something from that game.
They could maybe get a draw.
Yeah, this is what, but
they're not enough.
But I know what you're saying. I know where it picks up. At back end of November, they're away at Man City, home to Chelsea, home to Liverpool, and that,
the run is ridiculous. But and I think they're an injury away from like 1 or 2 at midfielders to being in a lot of bother. Because they do, like we're saying, they do look quite good at home. I really do think they look quite good. But then we sat here and saying like the teams that they've played, none of them are like an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Chelsea or a Man City. Do you know what I mean? No, they're not them, which you're definitely going to lose. You've got to look at certain games, I think, in Prem, and you'll know as we just are going to lose that game. So it's going to be a week where everybody else might pick them up. Everybody else might pick some up, and we know we're getting niche. And I think Leeds have got a few of them coming up in a row.
Yeah, I can't believe I've ended up sticking up for Leeds there, but I do think
they're a wakey boy. You've never been a Sheffield United.
No. And to be fair, that turns me against more than anything else, because all my mates are like Connor, completely deluded that they're going to, go on in Europe in a couple of years and all this sort of thing. But I don't think they're as cannon fodder as you're making out.
No, I'm not trying to say that. I still think they will go down, definitely, but I don't think they're cannon fodder. I think Burnley are cannon fodder.
Okay. Let's just get to a couple of super chats that have come in. So thank you to that. Rotherham a dross. Cheerio to Millers, says Dr. Mew.
Thank you, Dr. Mew. Kiss for the 5.
Yeah, that's for you, Cal.
And another one
for you is
real.
Cy Thompson says,
"Oh, good man, Cy."
As a Cov fan living in Sheff, I've had an unreal weekend. Watch us beat Wendy's minutes away from front door. Aka came in, 100,000 pints and on West Street, and afters to watch highlights again to rub it in.
What a day, but unfortunately, you've got to live in Sheff, mate. That is tough.
I'll tell you what, thank you for Cal's tenner.
Thank you, Simon. Yeah, very much appreciated.
But Cov fans have got to be loving it at the minute. Absolutely loving it. They are.
Great side.
They're class. Absolutely.
They are. I think there's a lot to be said for what Lampard is, which it just is quite simple. I think he's quite an old school guy for me, how he operates.
We bumped into Connor, the Coventry fan, didn't we, other day?
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to him, and he was saying, this is where the Europe in 3 years stands out. He seriously thought, Cov, the way that they're going, Europe in 3 years, it's bait, innit? That's bait, that.
He's a bit of a waffle monster.
Mate, I said
he's
we're not
a great bloke.
He'll be watching now because I've told him about what we're doing. So
he's full of crap, full of shite, Connor.
Yeah. Right, mate. Before we forget, I know we've just done an hour, which apologies we haven't got to hardly any comments, but I will see if we've got a chance to squeeze in a couple more. Didsy Award, you went early with it, Cal, didn't you?
Yep. Dawson Rotherham keeper because he massively kept me again.
Have you got a team as well?
Has anybody even won? Nobody's won.
Hull.
Oh yeah, Hull. Hull's got to have it.
Behave yourself.
Why? Who else is going to get it? Nobody else won.
He's got to be
Middlesbrough lost if we want to include them.
Well, I'm going to go away. I'm going to go away. McBurney, fought player.
Really? I was getting told they were crap and they didn't.
No, he weren't. He were an handful all game. It were like a constant reminder of what we haven't got at the minute, and that's what wound me up. So I'm going McBurney for his performance against Sheffield United.
So for the whole double for beating 24th in league crap Sheffield United.
I'm just trying. Nobody else won, did they? Harrogate,
no.
Rotherham, Bradford. I can't even get Bradford, who I love.
No, but that's a crap point. They should have won that.
Barnsley, terrible result after being 2-0 up.
All right, man. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's going to have to go.
You know about scoring 2 goals. My God, how can you moan?
Let's get some, behave yourself. Let's get some just some quick comments in before we go. Are you feeling better now, Cal? Dog kiss.
I'm going on a date, but that's it. We're over it now. Proper man over here.
Nice. One of them.
Yeah, did you, boy?
Did it? Yeah, too right.
Somebody's got to do it because he's not scoring.
Aiden says, who's a Town fan, says, Huddersfield not getting playoffs under Lee Grant. Not getting playoffs.
The will. What's the will?
Rotherham will be at Harrogate next season.
Probably.
Louis says, now then, Cal, any chance of lending us 3 points? Evening, lads. Which scenario makes a Blades v Barnsley league fixture more likely next season? Blades down or Barnsley up?
Oh, what a question.
Both isn't an option.
But well, from my perspective, Barnsley up, because I said I think Sheffield United will stay up and I think we'll go up. So
there's no need to spoil your own video. Will Sheffield United get relegated?
I don't hide it, do I? And then it lives or other vids. You know what I mean? I put it on Twitter before I record.
Do you obviously? I don't think we will go down. I don't think we're too good to go. I don't think that's a real thing, but I think we will pull ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think Barnsley will go up?
Yeah.
Do you honestly believe that you will go up this season? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? I don't think we'll win league because I truly think over it, like I was convinced on Luton, but over a full thing, Bolton do look genuinely unstoppable to a certain extent. They dominate every single game.
They scare you, Bolton, don't they? Every year.
I'm glad we got them out of way when we did.
Yeah.
And another reason why I think that we should have won that game. We had a man sent off. We had to deal with a full half with 10 men against best side in league. Urian has publicly said that he thinks Bolton at best side in league. Like, said that in an interview after Huddersfield game because he was like, Huddersfield a bit pissed. Like, if he thinks Bolton are the one. I just think the league as a whole, when I look at the other serious sides, they're not performing that cracking. And from the odd bits that I've seen, I truly believe in Urian. And even if we do end up in playoffs, I think against better sides, that suits us more.
Jess says,
I will be coming to Bramall Lane next year. You believe me. I think we'll all be in there. Apart from Wednesday, I think all lads will be back.
Yeah.
Leeds will be coming down. Reds are coming up.
Do you think me, you and Connor will be
at
games together at some stage?
Yeah, well, no. But I think we'll all be in the same league at different ends. Definitely. This time next year.
Might be a decent.
Now, that would make for something, wouldn't it?
Might be decent content, that, mate.
I know.
By Europe, does he mean Swansea and Cardiff? Yeah.
I saw that, I know. See on the back, Connor.
Exactly. Right, okay. We'll call it there, I think. We'll just finish on this one, which is probably about right. Malone, Richie says Barnsley, a bang average.
What the hell is Sheffield United then? Oh, my God.
No, he's not a Sheffield United fan as far as I know. But anyway, it's one of them.
It's one of them ones. You know, a Sheffield United fans is just so humble. And then, sorry.
We are
a humble club.
Right. Thank you, everybody that's commented. Thank you for all the Cal super chats. Very much appreciate it.
Very much, boys. Kiss.
We will be back next week.
Probably not. There'll be no one.
Should we skip it and go week after?
No, I can't do.
Okay, we'll see you week after next. Cal, anything else you want to say before we go?
Thank you everybody for watching on both channels. Make sure you subscribe to both and like them both and hype them, apparently, because that's a thing now. Have you seen that, the hype thing?
No, but you're going to tell me afterwards about what this collab thing is.
Oh, yeah.
I forget. All right.
Right. Cheers, boys and girls. Love you all.
See you soon, up the blades.
Nice one.